Well, today we're going to propagate this Coleus, or take tip cuttings or clone from it. Now, why is that important to a vegetable gardener? Well, there's a lot of wonderful things that flowers can do for us. They can attract the good insects, or bees for that matter, to come into our garden and pollinate our fruits and vegetables. Also, it can attract the good insects to come to our garden to take care and eliminate the bad insects. Well, how do you do tip cuttings? It's quite simple. All we want to do is we want to find a portion of the Coleus, and it's just not Coleuses. There's many different plants that you can take cuttings from or clones from. And to find out if you have a plant in your yard or house that can do that, there's many different websites available to give you that information. Well, what we want to do is we got the main shaft here. Now we want to take a cutting off a tender or fresh stem that's coming off that main shaft. For example, and to show how neat this really is, about a month ago I was rotating this in the window and snapped off one of these tender growths. So I just stuck it in the ground and it grew right in the pot. So I'm going to dig this up and we're going to transplant it over into our transplant pots. So when the spring comes, when it's warm enough, we can take these and put them in the garden to attract the insects. So I want to see how well that this rooted itself. And you can also do this with several vegetables, tomatoes being one of them. But that's got a solid root in there. So I want to see in just a month how much root came and grew off of that. So we're just going to set this over in this pot right now to get it out of the main one. Now, a lot of nurseries take cuttings. This would be the mother plant, and in the early spring they would take multiple cuttings off this, just like we're doing here. And then they would sell these to you, the consumer, keep the mother plant all year long, and in the next spring do the same procedure again. So how we want to do this, you don't want to use scissors, because scissors will pinch off that tender portion of that stem that's coming off the main shaft. You want to use a clean, sanitized knife to just simply cut that off. Now you're going to take and cut it across again. Now I've got a lot of things going on here. Really, you want about a 3 to 4 inch piece here. So actually, I could actually take and pull this off and plant that. I'll take these 2 lower leaves off, because you want about 2 or 3 sets of leaves here. So I've got actually 3 sets. I got the 2 top, those 2, that one, and I got a bonus one here, which I'm going to take off. Now you can take and you can get this root hormone powder at your local home garden center, and you can roll the stem, the base of the stem, in it, and it just actually helps to root better, and you put it in the soil. Now if you don't have this hormone powder, don't worry about it. This one here didn't have it and it rooted just fine. Or if you have some honey, you can just dip the tip of the Coleus or whatever plant you're going to clone or take a cutting from, and the honey will actually act as a stimulator or an enhancer, like the root hormone, and allow it to root quicker with that sugar enzyme in the honey. So we're just going to take, this one here is a little longer than what we want, so I'm going to take, let's see here, I'm going to take and pull these leaves off here, and I'm going to cut it underneath this set of leaves right there. So let me cut that, and just a straight cut, and we'll just tuck that in there. That may be a little bit more than what we need, but that's okay. So let me get the rest of these cut, the rest of these tip cuttings in here, and then I'll show you what to do after that. So why would you want to do a cutting? Well, there's several good reasons why you would want to. One, it's a clone, so it has the same traits as the parent plant. They're resistant to diseases. It'll carry on the same color. Now, if we wanted to wait and get seeds off this flower, it may not carry those same traits as the parent plant. 2, you can actually do this, and for year after year, you could take these that we've done cuttings with, take a cutting off that next year, and continue these traits and this flower over and over again for many years to come. Also, the benefit of doing cuttings are, if you have a neighbor or a friend who has a plant like this and you don't have, you could actually go to their residence, take a cutting, bring it home, and continue this for years to come. So just some of the great benefits to doing cuttings on a plant. I got one more to go. Now the best area to pull from is these really fresh, tender new sprouts off the main shaft. Something large like this here in particular, not the best thing to do a cutting from. You just want to take one of these fresh ones here and put in the soil. Now you want to give these plenty of water, and in about a month or so they'll root real well, just like this one did. Now the reason I chose this particular plant, these are annuals. They don't come back every year. If this was left outside last year, it would have died. So I dug it up, brought in because, as you see, it has this beautiful rust color, and in the fall, the whole plant is extremely that orangey color. Looks really beautiful. So I wanted to continue on the plant by doing these cutting, and then this year we'll bring this plant in again and everything and do it again. Now, if you're doing cuttings on a flower like this, and you have little flowers like that, you do not want to do a cutting on that particular branch. You want to bypass that. You strictly want to do on branches that have no flower growth at all. So with that being said, we'll water these, we'll put them by the window, and then when it comes warm enough in the spring, we'll put these in the garden to help attract more healthy, friendly bugs and insects to our garden to have a better vegetable crop come this fall.